Though the truth may vary, this ship will carry our bodies safe to shore.
Telling you to close your eyes.
And some days I can't even trust myself.
It's killing me to see this way.
'Cause though the truth may vary, this ship will carry our bodies safe to shore. Though the truth may vary, this ship will carry our bodies safe to shore.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Iceland, welcome to the University of Iceland, welcome to EURAM 2018. Really good to see you all here, and you're really lucky that it's the hottest time of the year. At least we got one sunny day, so if you're taking pictures, do it today. So we get that. We're doing publicity. Like this took really many years to make this video, to get on the right moment. I'm really happy to see you all here, and it's great to be amongst friends. I like to say that we just about broke every record in the EURAM history together. 1,700 people coming together for EURAM. Give ourselves a good hand. And 64 nationalities, so it's a very international conference, and great to see you all coming from the other side of the planet just to be here with us for the next couple of days. So fantastic. Having said that, this should be the kind of the formal opening ceremony. We actually started Monday with a doctorate colloquium, which was fabulously run by Runolfur, Francesco, Mina. Please give them a good hand, and maybe Runolfur, you can stand up. Fantastic job. We also had really nice labs yesterday. I think the first time that we had 6 labs, and it was great to see so many come and join us during those labs. And the idea of the lab is to kind of bring practice and research together. This morning we had the kickoff session, and I can't thank enough the SIG chairs and the SIG teams. This conference wouldn't be possible without those people. Please give them a hand, they're just fantastic. And further on, we had this morning, we had a meet the editor session here. We actually had 3 or 4 official Meet the Editor sessions, but I think there are coming around 100 unofficial Meet the Editor sessions here during these 3 days. But Johan Baruch has done a fantastic job to get the best names in journal editors here to Iceland, and I'm just amazed that they can actually sit in the same room. So please give Johan a really good hand for this. I promised not to talk very much about football, but I have to say, since we're winning the World Cup, that we have on Friday, and that's of course a cheeky pitch, that we have a symposium on Friday about football, about togetherness of the Icelandic team. So please wake up on 9 o'clock Friday morning and join us for that. It's going to be really exciting with players of the national team, former players, of course not in Russia, and trainers and scientists. So that's going to be great. Today we want to kind of open this forum formally. And do that. To do that, we can only find one person, a person that has really defined some of the issues in politics, has been a great role model for many people, and is a very keen on academia and been very positive about academia from the start. Please welcome our favorite minister, the Prime Minister of Iceland, Katrin Jakobsdottr.
Dear all, ladies and gentlemen, it's a real pleasure to be here with you today. As you mentioned, the only sunny day in this time of winter that we call summer in Iceland. Now, I would like to start by welcoming you all here to Iceland and to the EURAM Conference 2018 here in Reykjavik, my hometown, the largest EURAM conference that has ever been held. It's an honor to have all of you here in Háskólabíó in Iceland and see this big and blossoming community that EURAM has become. It is really important for the University of Iceland and for the academic community here in Iceland to make these connections with all of you that are present here today. So many distinguished researchers and academics from all over the world. And it is of great benefit for the community here in Iceland to have the opportunity to host this conference. Research in action, accelerating knowledge creation in management is the theme of your conference, a suitable and appropriate theme in our changing times, where the unexpected has become the expected. The dialogue between academia and the business world is an important one, and the relevance of academic research within a multitude of areas within the business world is great. With relevant academic research, a groundwork, we can work to improve our business practices, workplaces and workplace culture, and ultimately society as a whole. A thought that I would like to leave with you here today is how the academic discipline of management, how it relates to the private sector, will be able to contribute to solutions regarding the great global challenges of our time. Social responsibility. Addressing and ultimately prevailing against these challenges needs to be a joint effort of governments of the world and the private sector. We need to work together to act against climate change, to act against gender equality. We need businesses to embrace the opportunities of the fourth industrial revolution, and we need them to join and lead in the fight for equality at the same time. We need businesses to be socially responsible. We need them to think about sustainability, and governments need to work together with businesses to get to these goals. Because prosperity in our societies is dependent on them functioning, and for societies to function properly, we need to have a consensus on these issues, these important issues I mentioned here. I think this is a worthy topic for the academics present here today. And let me say that I'm quite optimistic that we already have people here who have more than a few thoughts on the matter, and I hope the rest of you will join some water-cooler discussions on these topics that matter so much to us all. Now, maybe I know that you have been staying here for 2 days, and you maybe would be right to have the impression that we are capable of talking about two subjects only. Both were mentioned here before. The weather, and second, soccer. I can explain. The sun is shining today. We have been having a horribly cold and wet beginning of summer, even by our Icelandic standards. And we really need to talk about the weather. And the interesting bit, because I used to work as a literary theorist before I became a politician, and we have been talking about the weather ever since we settled in Iceland in 874. We are talking about the weather in our sagas, and we still continue to talk about the weather. And the reason is that we have all sorts of weather every day. And when you see, how do you know and recognize an Icelander when you're abroad? That's the person on a sunny day abroad with also trench coat, umbrella, snow pads, and everything, because we always are expecting the weather to change. And yes, football, because we are, as the whole universe probably knows, in the World Cup for the first time, and we just love talking about that. I just wanted to mention this, in case you're not huge football fans and get easily bored with weather talk. And just to reassure you, we can talk about other things, so please don't be afraid to visit us again. I promise we can keep a conversation going without mentioning weather and football, but not just now. And speaking of the World Cup, it has been a great inspiration for us all here in Iceland to watch our teams game. Their main strategy is working together. They know that no single player is more important than the others or than the team as a whole. So they are fearless and have set themselves high goals that at times seemed unattainable. And last but not least, they do their research. And it reminds us that research is always the basis for everything. So it's been inspiring for all of us in Iceland to see how their belief in the team and its possible success, despite the odds, has carried them this far. And this goes for both the men's and women's national teams. They have both had an incredible success in international football. So, I'm now going to stop talking about soccer. I'm not going to take one woman's Viking clap up here. This was an Icelandic joke, but okay. The Viking clap is actually becoming something that we do all days and all hours, as I know, living in a neighborhood of great soccer fans. Now, I would like to declare this EURAM Conference 2018 opened, and I do hope you have a fruitful and enjoyable conference for the next few days, and I do hope that you will prolong your stay here in Iceland or come visit us again. We love to have a lot of guests. That has been really in the core of our souls ever since that we settled here. We are all guests here, so happy to have you, and I hope you enjoy your stay. Thank you.
Having said that, one woman's Viking club is not easy, but I think we should make a tradition here at EURAM for the next 3 days, that after each speech we should do the Viking club. So just want to teach you the basics. So the basics are like, whoo! You got that? So 2 claps, one kind of, and then whoo! It's really exciting and really complicated. So everyone please stand up. Let's try this. Let's try this together. You need to learn something in Iceland. So are you ready? This was really bad. Okay, I have to do it again. Are you ready? Very good. Give yourselves a hand. And find a place on earth where you can get a prime minister to do a Viking club. So we're really excited that EURAM came to Iceland. Fantastic. And we have to thank EURAM Executive Committee for that, and especially the president, who said that she was so happy about that she would end her presidency here in Iceland. So please welcome Sibel Yamak, the president of EURAM.
Honorable Prime Minister, dear Rector of the University of Iceland, dear colleagues and friends, over the last couple of years, in my various roles, and since 2 years in my role as the President of EURAM, I've seen my share of openings, but this is a special one. The opening speech is addressed by the Prime Minister of Iceland, who is the second female Prime Minister and one of the most trusted politicians in Iceland. She is also a pacifist and environmentalist, qualities that we long to see in politics. We are delighted and honored by your presence. Thank you so much for being there with us. We are also delighted to organize our 18th conference in Iceland, which has a very ambitious and exemplary target of going carbonless by 2040. Iceland is also scoring high in gender equality. There is an increasing need to incorporate social and environmental sustainability into the research, education, and practice of management. So we are in the right place to get inspired. We're also going to have a plenary where the former president of Iceland will have a talk on why sustainable and green economy is good for business. This year we will have nearly 3 days of inspiring and stimulating discussions on how to put our research in action, not only in sustainability-related domains, but also in other areas affecting the life in organizations and society. Putting research in action in a way to make the world a better place is a laudable aim. I congratulate EURAM 2018 team for exposing such a meaningful team. We need to put our research into action to create more human-centered organizations. In so doing, we need to critically revise our priorities, traditions, taking for granted assumptions and habits in conducting research and building up knowledge. There is a need for meaning-oriented research that can interact with, learn from, and change the practice. Meaningful connection between the results of scientific research and management practice can help us create knowledge democracies. Research in action, considering the less voiced issues and disadvantaged groups in society, may facilitate advancing merit and social justice. Research in action can also be a way to advance democracy and sustainability. It can also feed, in a meaningful way, responsible management education. EURAM is dedicated to being a home for responsible research, education, and practice in management. This conference will provide us with the opportunity to discuss ways of excelling in them. Well, let me now briefly update you about the recent developments at EURAM. This was a busy year with plenty of achievements. We had a record number of submissions. Our expectation was high, but the actual numbers exceeded all our guesses. This huge success doubled the amount of work. Our extraordinary conference chair, Eythor, Ivar, Jonsson, I can't see you, Eythor, where are you? Okay. And his team, supported by Conference Program Committee, did a fantastic job. This success raised our number of members to 1,700. Please join me in thanking them for this huge success. Another achievement was about the grants. EURAM is offering its first research grants this year. We have created a scientific council where prominent scholars have joined us. I would like to thank EURAM Scientific Council members who worked hard for the selection of the grant winners. A special thank to Project Management Institute and Project Management and Innovation Strategic Interest Groups for organizing another grant, which is the PMI grant. I'm grateful to Yehuda Baruch, our Vice President in charge of publications and research, for his meticulous work in organizing all these activities. I invite all of you to attend the General Assembly and the award ceremony on Friday, where we will announce the winners of these grants and our regular awards. Another novelty is that we have invested this year in a new IT platform for conference management which will become functional starting from next year. But we have already put in place an app instead of the conference book to reduce our paper consumption and to benefit from the interactive nature of the program app. I hope you have enjoyed it. We have collaborated with our SIG chairs and different associations in EAS for the selection of the appropriate platform. I would like to thank our SIG chairs who contributed with their inputs, EAS Managing Director Nicole Cookman, our Executive Officer Luisa Jaffe, DECON, our Vice President SIG's Remy Jardin, our Vice President Conference Dorota Dobia, for their commitment for this progress. We have also news from the European Management Review. Mustafa Özbilgin, who had been our editor-in-chief since 2014, stepped down due to his multiple commitments. We are grateful to him for what he has achieved at EMR. By adhering to the principles of quality, transparency, commitment to engaged and robust scholarship, he put in practice an inclusive strategy that is open to different disciplinary, methodological, and theoretical traditions and perspectives, as well as observing equality of opportunity and diversity among the ranks in appointing associate editors, reviewers, and guest editors. He set off the practice of submissions in languages other than English. We thank Mustafa Özbilgin and his team and wish them all the best for their future endeavors. I'm delighted to announce that Johanna Naltman is our new editor-in-chief at EMR. Johanna Naltman is an outstanding scholar who successfully created and led many academic journals during his remarkable career. A very warm welcome to him and to his team. Another good development is that following the new agreement with the publisher, EMR is making profits after years of negative financial performance finally. At this point, I would like to express my gratitude to those who have contributed to EURAM in different capacities. I'm thankful to all the colleagues who have contributed to this conference, SIG chairs and officers, track and symposium proponents, reviewers, authors, Conference Program Committee, our PCO DECON, University of Iceland, Executive Committee members, DC chairs, our Executive Officer. And in the person of our Conference Chair, Eythor Ivar Jonsson, I would like to thank once again Local Organizing Committee. The commitment of all these colleagues has created this stimulating conference program which help us discover new ways of putting research in action. Let us now enjoy this great event. Thank you so much for your attention.
Very good. In short, to summarize, that's what I'm good at, summarizing arguments. In short, what Sibel said or wanted to say, she wanted to say, I love you. So just so we have this love across the room is very important, because we're all friends here and we want to do interesting stuff together. We want to change the world, not just for the sake of the Prime Minister, but for the sake of all the public. When we kind of suggested that we wanted to have a conference in Iceland, we went to the main man in the university, and we thought like he would say, okay, this is a crazy idea, I love you too, but go and do something else. He actually said, this is a wonderful idea. There's stuff like this that we need to do as a university to actually make Iceland, University of Iceland, one of the best universities in the world. And that's what we strive for, at least among the 100 best, if not the 1,000 best. We strive to be one of the best. So please welcome the man who's going to make that happen, Atli Benediktsson, the Rector of University of Iceland.
Thank you very much, Eythor. Eythor, I love you too, I want to say. And Prime Minister, President of EURAM, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to have you here. Everything Eythor said is correct. And this is what we need here in Iceland. International collaboration is the key for the University of Iceland. And as a small nation with 350,000 inhabitants, we really need international connections. And to have large conferences here and to have EURAM here is simply thrilling. I'm not going to talk about the weather. I'm just basically going to tell the short story of the University of Iceland. It was founded in 1911, and so we have celebrated 107 years, founded on June 17, 1911. It has evolved, can we say, through the years. So now we have about 13,000 students. We only started with 45 in the House of Parliament here in Reykjavik. 13,000 students in 5 schools, so we cover almost all disciplines in undergraduate education, graduate education, and PhDs. And the university is very proud of its School of Business, and I also welcome you on part of the School of Business here. It's the largest faculty of the University of Iceland, and it has been operating about 80 years. And it's strongly linked both with Icelandic society and internationally. Since we're talking about management here, I want to mention, and Eythor mentioned that we want to be highly ranked at this university, that this was actually our strategic plan in 2006 to 2011 to be a top 100 university, and we are not. But we are ranked now by Times Higher Education World University Rankings in 201, 250, and we are very happy with that. We think it's a great achievement for a small university at a small nation. But when we did the strategic planning, we looked to the experts at the School of Business, and they laid the foundation. So we were ranked in 2011 based on the strategic plan we had from 2006 to 2011, and we have continued on that route. Now we have a strategic plan for 2016 to 2021, and the title is Strong University, Thriving Society, and we are implementing that at the moment, and with the support of the Prime Minister, we are very happy how we are proceeding. So it's very important for the University of Iceland to have expertise like we have at the School of Business and to have a strong university. But the key thing is that you are here, and we welcome you very warmly today. People have already said jokes about that, but I would say we hope you have a wonderful time here, a great conference, and please come back. Regarding the weather, we can say it changes, that has already been said, but you could always and should always consider it refreshing. Welcome, EURAM 2018. Enjoy your stay.
So thanks a lot, Jon Atli. Fantastic. You can see the togetherness that we are kind of running both as a football team and as a university. It's definitely working. I just want to say that, as I said before, we are around 1,700 here, and you might not think that's many people, but that's 0.5% of the whole population in Iceland. So what we're expecting in Portugal, that you will be 50,000. To match that. So that is good, and this is going to be the end of this session, but before we leave, and don't leave at all, because we have a panel here about research in action with Ives. Doors is going to run. Please stand up, Ives, and give him a hand. It's going to be a fantastic discussion about research in action. And of course, you know Ives is a professor at INSA, a distinct scholar, so thanks a lot. I just want you to give them 2 minutes to put everything here up, set up and so forth. So I want you all to stand up, because one of the key things that we are doing here at EURAM is we want to network. We want to have great experiences, and we want to create a movement. So spend the next 2 minutes shaking the hand of the person next to you and explaining why you are here and why you love it. Thank you very much.
Though the truth may vary, this ship will carry our bodies safe to shore.